Hello everyone, welcome to the course of Chinese culture. Today we will learn a new chapter, literature. Speaking of literature, have you ever read any classical works of Chinese literature? What are they? I bet most of you have read some Chinese classical works, such as 诗经, 红楼梦, and so on. But do you know how to say these classical works in English? Maybe not, right? Okay, now let's have a better understanding of classical literature. China has a long and rich literary history of over 3,000 years, which can be subdivided into three main periods: classical literature, modern literature, and contemporary literature. Chinese classical literature refers to literary works from the days before the Qin dynasty to the year of 1919. Beginning with primitive mythology, Chinese classical literature developed with the Book of Songs, the Songs of Chu, the prose of the Pre-Qin times, Hanfu and Yue folk songs of the Han dynasty, the literary criticism in the Wei and Jin dynasties, the Tang poetry, the Songci poetry, the Yuan dramas in the Yuan dynasty, and the Ming and Qing novels. The Book of Songs and the Songs of Chu are regarded as the two peaks of China's earlier literary history. The Book of Songs is a collection of China's 305 oldest poems from the early Western Zhou dynasty to the middle of the Spring and Autumn period, and is regarded as the earliest realistic literature in China. It has provided a deep insight into all aspects of social life of the Zhou dynasty and truly reflected the rise and fall of the Chinese slave society. The poems in the Book of Songs are mainly written in 4 character lines. In the light of their rhythms, the works can be divided into 3 sections: Feng, Ya, Song. Feng means folk ballads, Ya means dynastic hymns, and Song means sacrificial songs. Now let's appreciate some famous lines in the Book of Songs. The first one, Guanju, cooing and wooing. This is the first poem in the Book of Songs, and it is a man's love song for a beautiful girl who is picking watergrass. The second one is Jianjia, the reed. This poem is another love song which expresses the writer's homesickness for a beautiful girl. There are different translation versions of the Book of Songs by different scholars. If you are interested in poem translation, you can try to translate them by yourself and make contribution to spreading Chinese classical culture. The Songs of Chu follows the Book of Songs as an important poem collection from ancient China with far-reaching influence. Chuci, as the book's Chinese name indicates, is derived from the songs of the southern state of Chu during the Warring States period. It pioneered Romanticism in Chinese poetry. The verses of the Songs of Chu are freer than those of the Book of Songs. They are not fixed to 4 characters per line, and the character xi is often put in the middle or at the end of some lines, such as Qu Yuan's famous sentence, 路漫漫其修远兮，吾将上下而求索. The journey is long, I'll search up and down. Qu Yuan is regarded as the first writer to have his name associated with his work in the history of Chinese literature. Unable to realize his ideal, he wrote such immortal masterpieces as Sorrow After Departure, Ask Heaven, 9 Elegies, and 9 Songs. In the end, he drowned himself in the Miluo River out of disappointment, sorrow, and anger. Next, let's talk about Tang poetry and Songci, which are shiny pearls in Chinese classical literature. The development of poetry in the Tang Dynasty can be classified into 4 stages, namely Early Tang, High Tang, Middle Tang, and Late Tang. Li Bai and Du Fu are regarded as the representatives of the Tang poets. Li Bai, the immortal of poems, has long been considered the greatest romantic poet in Chinese literature. In his poems, imagination, exaggeration, diction, and sonorous rhythms are blended effortlessly. Some of Li Bai's most famous poems include Thinking in the Silent Night, Hard is the Road to Shu, etc. Du Fu, the sage of poems, has been regarded as the greatest realistic poet in Chinese literature. As mirrors of the times, his poems faithfully and profoundly reflect the social realities of the Tang Dynasty in decline, like a poetic historical account. His most famous poems include The Three Offices and The Three Partings. Poetry typical of the Song Dynasty is known as Songci poetry. Instead of regulated poetry, Songci poetry could express more refined and delicate feelings with irregular meter. In the Northern Song Dynasty appeared 2 major Ci styles. One style is called soft and tuneful school, represented by Liu Yong, Li Qingzhao, Yan Shu, and Ouyang Xiu. The other style is called powerful and free school, represented by Su Shi, Xin Qiji, and Lu You. Li Qingzhao, as the greatest poetess in China, also rose to prominence in this period. Her style is original and natural. Her lyrics genuine and touching. Her famous Ci poem, Slow, Slow Song, expressed her intense grief and woe over the loss of the country and her husband. With his extraordinarily vigorous style of poetry, Su Shi brought innovations to Ci and helped broaden its scope, elevate its status, and set up the powerful and free school. Some of his most famous Ci poems are To the Tune of Water Melody, The Mid-Autumn Festival, To the Tune of Charm of a Maiden Singer, The Red Cliff. Due to time limit, there are many other famous writers and poets I didn't mention. You can explore it after this lesson. Okay, that's all for this section. Thank you for joining us. See you.